In my humble opinion, Amity Blight's design is perfect. The amber eyes, her many different hairstyles, that forehead. There isn't really much I would change about her. But what if I told you that we might have been robbed of one little detail that would have arguably not only elevated her design, but changed everything we know about witches biology in the Owl House. With that being said, I once again invite you to join me as I take apart this one gay owl show that sparks joy not only within me, but to countless people from all around the world, and analyze every small detail. Be it a throwaway line from one of the characters, or something in the background of one shot that was only on screen for like a few seconds. Luckily in this video, we have both of those things. So without further ado, let's visit the Boiling Isles once more as I ask this very important question. Do witches have fangs? And if yes, where are they? Do we actually see them anywhere throughout the 3 seasons? My name is Toonatic, and I am here to provide answers.
Amity! Oh, cramity!
Now it goes without saying that sharp fangs always elevate a character's design. Just shove them pointy teeth into your OC's mouth and boom, easy S-tier guy. I mean, just look at my YouTube persona. I just think they're neat. And I know I am not alone with that. There are many instances of movie/TV show characters that normally aren't depicted with fangs being drawn with them in fan art or even official art. Pointy teeth can make a character appear mischievous, dangerous, feral, and of course, edgy. This is just another way for artists to give a character more personality. In the Owl House, the character that immediately comes to mind would be Ida the Owl Lady.
That's the only spell I know!
And whose fault is that?
Yours!
Ha! Yep, got me there.
Her golden fang is iconic, and although we learn in Season 2, Episode 4, Keeping Up Appearances, that it isn't actually real, it still serves as a really cool detail of her design. But one main character isn't enough. I need more! We all know that Gus has a fascination with the human realm, always on the lookout for various human gadgets and gizmos, and learning more about stuff from our world. But aside from that, my man also has some personal goals he'd love to accomplish. In the Season 1 episode, Hootie's Moving Hassle, we actually catch a glimpse of Gus's bucket list.
Are you serious? This was on my bucket list, after owning a real human bucket!
And aside from things like growing a haunted beard, whatever that means, or owning a real human bucket, the thing that sticks out to me the most is this: lose baby fangs. Now this little gag actually makes witches being born with fangs canon. And looking at this list, it seems like Gus still had his baby fangs back then, as it hadn't been marked off yet. This raises even more questions. At what age do witches lose their so-called baby fangs? And do they grow back as normal teeth or pointy chompers? What do young witches even need sharp teeth for? Now most characters in the Owl House are drawn with non-pointy canines, with the one exception I can think of off the top of my head being Principal Bump. But this could just be a stylistic choice, and the fang thing is more implied. However, there are a handful of instances where we almost got to see how our favorite characters would have looked with fangs in the actual show. Aside from Ida and Gus, the most likely candidate to have pointy chompers is none other than Amity Blight. If you search online, there's just tons and tons of Fangmity, as I've just now decided to color that, fan art all over Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. But why her? Well, as far as I know, this whole craze goes back to a storyboard for the episode Adventures in the Elements, drawn by Chris Pianka. This guy has quite the resume, working as an animator, cartoonist, and storyboard artist for various shows, such as Big City Greens, Harvey Beaks, and Centaur World to name a few. Now in his storyboards, Amity gets annoyed by her siblings Ed and Em, and this is when we get to see the oh-so-elusive Fang Amity. This image quickly made its way onto Twitter, and shortly after that, folks created fan art and threads based on the storyboard. People really love the idea of Owl House characters having fangs. Now for some time, this and Gus' bucket list was all we had when it comes to evidence. But if being part of the animation community for many years has showed me anything, It would be that we survive on even the smallest crumbs of potential content from the things we love. However, we would be lucky enough to get a few more little nods to the concept in the next couple of years. On March 14th, 2022, Dana Terrace and some of the crew hosted a charity livestream in order to raise money for helping LGBTQIA+ youth, following Disney making some questionable decisions when it comes to human rights. This event was called the Be Gay, Do Witchcraft Charity Draw-a-thon, and people who donated could make drawing requests for the crew. Depending on the amount donated, or if you were lucky enough, your prompt had a chance to be chosen to be turned into a cool little piece of art by the hosts. Now the reason I bring this up is because one of the requests that ended up being chosen was none other than Amity with Fangs.
Okay, so I found a random request for myself, as Spencer does his. I will be drawing Amity with Fangs. Alright.
This just shows how popular the concept was even months after initially gaining traction. Dana produced this incredible piece of art and fans once again were blessed with more canine content. I remember watching the event live back in the day, and this was only one of the many incredible pieces of art which was created during the stream. In addition, we were also able to raise money for a good cause. All proceeds went to the Zebra Coalition, an organization that focuses on helping queer youth and providing a safe environment for LGBTQIA+ teens and young adults. If you want to learn more about the work they do, a link to the Zebra Coalition will be in the description. Now with that being said, let's move on to the next piece of evidence, Exhibit D. So far, we have established that witches lose their baby fangs sometime during their childhood, and we have also seen Amity sprouting sharp teeth at least twice. But what if I told you that she most likely inherited them from none other than her father Alidor? This is concept art showing the Blight family. On first glance, nothing out of the ordinary. Everyone looks almost identical to how they would end up in the show. But what's this? Enhance! That's right, Alidor was supposed to have fangs himself. We were robbed. Could you imagine how things would have been if Amity and or other characters would have had pointy teeth in the actual show? A demon can dream. Now I can only speculate on why this detail was ultimately changed. My best guess is that the fangs would have been distracting, or didn't serve any purpose when it comes to characterization and design. Imagine if every witch in the show would have had these sharp chompers. That would have been a little distracting to say the least. And if only the Blights would have had fangs, we would have to ask, why just them? What's the reason? Now I also asked you guys what you think about fangs in the Owl House, and while the majority was pro-fang, yes! One user came forward with an interesting theory. Fluffy Jackie 6736 wrote, I love them, gives them a demonic edge. And they could be explained so that the witches who have them have blood from a feline-ish ancestor in them and had to hunt with teeth and claws because the bile sac hadn't fully developed yet. And the more blood of that ancestor one has in them, the more features of said ancestor one is born with. That may be why some demons like Adrian Gray have a tail as well, while Amity, potentially, only has fangs and other witches don't have them at all, or only to a degree that isn't visually noticeable. Now I must say that I really like this theory as a possible explanation. That's basically what I thought as well, that the characters we do see with non-human-like features are part demon. Such as, for example, how it's speculated that one of Bosch's ancestors was a demon, which would explain her having a third eye. My final verdict is that witches having fangs is canon to an extent. We might not always see it in the show, but we do know their teeth are referred to as fangs at least. Whether this is just what teeth are called in the demon realm, or if these are actually pointy fangs is for everyone to decide for themselves. Of course, this was just me daydreaming and then turning my thoughts into a video. But what do you guys think? Fangs, yay or nay? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, bye! And also please like and subscribe for more vids.